Bullet penetration works differently in Cold War as it previously did inside Modern Warfare, and this video is going to explain exactly how it works inside Cold War multiplayer. This video is going to go in depth, breaking down the amount of damage you do through different materials as well as using different weapons. If you enjoy breakdown videos like this and you like to learn more about the game, subscribe to the channel as this is the kind of content we make here and we'd love to have you. Also, we have a goal in mind to hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so if you can help us achieve that, it'll be greatly appreciated. Before the release of the Cold War multiplayer, the developers tweeted out the fact that FMJ or bullet penetration would work differently in Cold War as it did to Modern Warfare, and the way it worked in Modern Warfare was based on the ammo type you used, but the way it works inside Cold War is just based on the different weapons you use. So essentially, the higher caliber weapon, such as an LMG or a sniper rifle, will penetrate through objects better than an SMG or an assault rifle. Now this video is going to put that to the test. Something they didn't tell you is that you get different damage percentages based on what kind of material you're actually shooting through. So for example, if you're shooting through wood, you'll do a higher percentage of damage than if you're shooting through metal, for instance. If you want the quick answer to this video, on average all the weapons do roughly 70% damage through wood, and then they do roughly 45% damage through metal objects. There are a few outliers to this average, such as shotguns, so stick around for this video. For the sake of time in this video, we only tested one gun from each category, so for example we only tested one assault rifle, one LMG, one SMG. But after hours of testing, these averages are still pretty accurate to those other weapons as well. So the first weapon we tested was the XM4. We all know the base damage for the XM4 is a 5-shot kill. Then we shot through this thin wooden wall and we got a 7-shot kill. Now that's about a 30% damage reduction, so overall you do about 70% damage through thin wooden walls. We then ran the same exact test again, but instead through a metal wall, and this time we found out that the XM4 does 11 shots to kill, and that means you're getting a 55% damage reduction when you're shooting through metal objects. Keep in mind this is still a thin wall. The next weapon we tested was the MP5. Now this is quite a popular gun, and we all know it's a 5-shot kill with the MP5 as the base weapon. Then shooting through that same thin wooden wall, we got a 7-shot kill, which means we got a 30% damage reduction again, which is very similar to the XM4. However, the main difference we notice now is shooting through metal objects, as the MP5 takes 15 shots to kill through this metal wall. And that means you're dealing 70% less damage than you usually would with the MP5. Again, this is to be expected because the MP5 is not actually a high caliber weapon, so it's going to do much less damage through thicker objects. Moving on to the M16, we notice a 1-burst kill. Through the wooden wall, it's a 2-burst kill, and then through the metal wall, it's a 3-burst kill. What that means is you're only going to do 50% damage through wood, and then you'll only do 30% damage through metal. Now, I expected the M16 to do a bit more damage than this, given that it's a tactical rifle. Moving on to the Type 63, this is one of the better weapons for bullet penetration. I did state in the overhead that you do get 100% damage, but this might not exactly be the case. It will take a slight damage reduction when shooting through walls, but overall, in what we've tested, it still takes the same amount of shots to kill, and that's why we put 100% there. Similarly, through metal objects, you get 75% of your damage. The next weapon we tested was a Stoner LMG. The base damage is a 4-shot kill. Through wooden objects, again, that same thin wooden wall is about 80% of your damage, which leaves you with a 5-shot kill, and then through the metal object, it brings you down to a 6-shot kill, which is about 60% of your overall damage. Aside from just the amount of damage an LMG does, because it's fully automatic, if you know an enemy's behind a wall but not exactly sure where, you can pretty much hold down the trigger and find them. Then we tested the Tundra sniper rifle, so we notice a 1-shot kill to the shoulders, chest or head. Then through the wooden wall, it was a 2-shot kill to the shoulders or the chest, and then a 1-shot kill still to the head. And again, the same with our testing went for the metal wall as well, so you get a 1-shot kill to the head, and it's a 2-shot kill to the shoulders or the chest. So if you manage to find someone's head through a wall with a sniper rifle, you still get that 1-shot headshot potential. For the secondary weapons, we tested the 1911 pistol, and for the base weapon, it's a 3-shot kill. Through the wooden wall again, you got 60% of your damage through the wall, and it took 5 shots to kill. And then through the metal wall, it took 10 shots to kill, which means you're only getting 30% of your damage through the metal wall. So again, it's very similar to the MP5 because it is a low caliber weapon you're using here. And these damage values could be slightly different for the Desert Eagle. The last gun we tested was the HAUER 77 shotgun, and we know this is a one-shot kill depending on the range you're at. Then we tried shooting through the wooden wall and we could see that it didn't penetrate the wall whatsoever. And again, through the metal wall, it didn't penetrate at all either. And what this means is that shotguns can't be spammed to shoot through walls, which is kind of good in terms of balancing in my opinion. For the rest of this video, you're going to see me using the Type 63, which is one of the more higher caliber weapons, and just testing different objects around a few different maps to see what you can shoot through and what you cannot shoot through. A general rule that we figured out whilst testing is that you can shoot through most wooden objects inside this game. In terms of metal objects, there's only a few metal objects around the map that you can actually shoot through, and then in terms of concrete objects, there's not very many concrete objects you can shoot through. Now it's also pretty weird because there's some objects you think you could probably not shoot through, but you can. And then there's objects that you feel like you should be able to shoot through them, but you can't. So it's kind of just a bit strange. As you can see this concrete slab on the screen, you could definitely not shoot through that. But then we found like different walls inside other maps, like Moscow for instance. And you can see that we can clearly get hit markers through this wall right here. Also, this next wall you'll see, which a lot of people tend to hide behind, if you shoot at the thicker part of the wall, you can actually penetrate through it, but if you shoot at the top half of the wall, you can actually get your bullets to go through. Another really easy way to know if you could shoot through a wall or not is if you can see an enemy's gun through the wall, for example, or you can see their leg sticking out on the other side of the wall. Most of the time, you will do damage through that object, which is really useful to know. Trees are again similar to wood, so you can easily shoot through those. Now, a really weird one I found was this bus inside the Moscow map, and there's a lot of these buses dotted around the map as well, and if you shoot through the seams where the door is, you can actually shoot through the bus, but if you shoot at the kind of the main part of the bus, you can't actually shoot through it, which is really weird. So basically, on the other side of this bus, there's a crack where the door is, and that's how you can shoot through it for some weird reason. I just thought I'd share this one with you because it is pretty weird and these buses are all over the map. So just to summarize this video, overall it's quite difficult to figure out what objects you can actually shoot through. However, it's much easier to figure out what weapons do better damage through those objects. So obviously, as we seen earlier in this video, high caliber weapons such as LMGs, sniper rifles, and also marksman rifles or tactical rifles will do better than assault rifles as well as SMGs. Also, we know there's an outlier with shotguns as well, which is quite important to know because if you're trying to shoot someone through a wall with a shotgun, it's just not going to work whatsoever. Let me know down in the comments if you found any cool spots on any of the new maps that you can actually shoot through. If you enjoyed this video and you've made it this far, hit that like button as it definitely shows your support to the channel and it helps us get recommended more. And finally, if you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, we do make a lot more breakdown videos like this and we have tons more planned in the coming days, so subscribe so you don't miss out. Thank you very much for watching.